Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So, I'll welcome everybody else to the first place Frostbite Circuit Opener deck profile interview here on Discord with Mr. Henshins, who piloted Altergeist. Keep in mind, the only Altergeist player in the entire tournament. Um, and he's going to be running through his deck list here. Obviously, just beating Dino in the finals 2-1. And first of all, let me ask you, what playmat do you want out of the three?
Um, let me look. Let me remember which one it was. I think it was the um the one that's like kind of black and gold with the Millennium Eye in the middle.
Yes, the Millennium playmat. That's the one I figured somebody would pick.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get
That's
that one sent out to you. We'll sort out the details later.
okay.
But first of all, congratulations, and go ahead and tell us why you played Altergeist and run us through your list.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I
No
had a
problem.
great time. Um, why I played Altergeist, I think I've always been kind of like a control player,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew into the game like learning on counter fairies, and my friend who taught me, who was also watching the game in the stream,
Mm-hmm.
he's the guy, so it was always kind of like there for me. So it was always kind of like there in the background. So I kind of think I have a natural like a affiliation with it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was playing Salmon Gates is my main before this, so
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of shifted over when Faker gets a three. I was building the deck, and I just didn't realize I had all the cards. Um, so I was like, oh, I can build this now, and then I built it, and was
Nice.
just practicing it a lot.
Definitely shows that you've practiced for sure.
Yeah, I put a lot of time into it. So it's nice to have a tournament
Mm-hmm.
to practice more.
Absolutely.
So, the ratios are pretty common, like, three Faker, three Seek. People are arguing, like, the the other two copies of multi-faker were holding me back, like, that joke.
Yeah. Of
Uh,
course.
yeah, but in the end, it's just consistency is consistency. I can't count how many times I opened it up, opening hand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't really open up in from Faker too much, but the last game, it in game one, I think really helped me because that's when um, I kind of played it slow there because I know he was going to do stuff with a token, try and extend.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the Karibo, and since multi-faker has that restriction, I couldn't summon Faker that turn, so I just waited till my turn to imperm the pink
Okay.
and play like that because it also gave me Seek, and then Seek gave me Marionetter. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just the three really matters. Like in the end, it's so much better with three.
Yeah. Absolutely. Of course.
Some people, I was testing out. I think before I used to play three Marionetter, but now I was playing two just to test it out since it's a heavier hand trap format.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of unsure at the beginning. I think it's okay. Like you can search out Seek a lot, and Faker is kind of a copy of it because you can summon Seek and then search Marionetter when you link it off. So the one copy missing didn't really matter too much.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's just it's an extender. It's a half starter, so you don't really need three of it, but it's definitely good at two. Silk and Conqueror, 2-in-1 is just where it's at.
Yep.
It sometimes I can just take you games in like Conqueror opening hand or surprise an opponent. Just like it feels bad when that happens to you, but it's a pretty important part of the Altergeist deck, and it's so needed.
Yeah. I hate getting Conqueror jumped on me for sure.
Yeah, especially when it's unexpected. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like negate it or almost lose maybe.
Yeah.
And then the hand trap lineup, obviously three Ash, three Vader, two Ghost Mourner, and then the three Imperms.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know what was going to be in the tournament until it started. But I've been seeing like Eldritch, Combo, Synchro, that needs a lot of hand traps to stop.
Yep.
In case there's Adamantipator, which only ended up being like one,
There was two, I believe.
two. So like those are the decks I was worried about because obviously we struggle, like Geist and most every other deck struggles against that. So
Mm-hmm.
just hand traps, hand traps, hand traps. Kind of. That's why it was worth playing the two Marionetter because you need the hand traps.
Yeah, the extra space for sure.
Right. And then the same thing goes for extravs. Don't need to explain that.
Yeah.
Cyclones. I took out. I believe I took out judgments in the main for that, since you need more hand traps and stuff like the cosmos. The cosmics are good for like the eldritch traps. So, that was a better going first and second option as opposed to judgment. And judgment was being better siding it for first.
Mm-hmm.
It's also cosmic is also good against like the Lost World and Meltdown, and I guess in this the Evil Eye Field spell, which I didn't expect to ever come in contact with that.
Yep.
I was like, excuse me?
Yeah, that probably caught a lot of people off guard for sure.
Yeah, I definitely liked that was put in with Eldritch, because it was an interesting spin of what we usually see, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that actually, like, when I went against that player the first time, I went against him twice, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. And them having another counter trap search off of Serziel was crazy. And then the Eye of Selene is kind of nuts too. Like,
yeah, it's a pretty strong normal summon. Can't be targeted by card effects, destroyed by battle or whatever. By card effects, yeah. Very, very strong.
Altergeist doesn't really have non-targeting removal, so it's just like, well,
yeah,
I can lose. Two protocol. 1-for-1 is good for Milliseek.
Yep.
One manifestation. It's just kind of standard. That's just how it is.
I saw you do a lot of recycling of the manifestation with the spoofing, which is pretty nice.
Right.
I'd expect that Altergeist players maybe play more manifestation, but you seem to recycle it a lot with just the spoofing, which is pretty cool.
Right. It's nice to abuse the fact that if you spoofing it away, it doesn't destroy your monster because it's not on the field to destroy it.
Yep.
So that's just, it's just free card advantage essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
Strikes were so good sometimes, just getting the Eldritch and Grave. Since I didn't have Crows, that was something I really wanted to put my somewhat like through into the tournament.
Yep.
But I wasn't able to change my deck list, so I was just like, I got to deal with it. And Strike really helped with that, or like Calm Pulses, just bouncing back the hand. It's kind of like Silk, but obviously in trap form. So it's just having 4 Calm Pulses is kind of nuts. And then the order that came in clutch in some games, like against the Invoked Evil, or not the Invoked Evil, the
Eldritch.
That, I think that just kind of won me the game there.
Was that in the top 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that just, he didn't have the out for it. Turns off a Selene. That means Sergio can be destroyed. It can be targeted.
Yep.
Turns off all the Altergeist cards. Like, it just made it so much better.
Very, very good card.
Oh, yeah. I drew it, I feel like, more than I should have.
Yeah.
For being
I feel you on that one.
Yeah. Let's see. Into the side deck, Evenlies and Lightning Storms are, standard side deck cards. It helps Altergeist break boards when they normally can't. Like, it'll bait out maybe a Savage or a Herald negate or something like that, and then just Milliseek send it or something like that, It just helps get rid of the stuff that you can't do on your own. Judgment's good for going first if you're siding it, because on the flip side, Storms and Evenlies also hurt Altergeist.
Yeah.
So you kind of combat that.
With the judgments, yeah.
Huh?
Oh no, never mind. You're good. You're good.
And then heavy Storm Dusters, good for Eldritch, good for back row decks in general. They had some small niche interactions in maybe against Lost World Dinos, Stop the Lost World, or Striker, something like that. I was surprised I didn't go against Striker this tournament.
Yeah, we only had one Sky Striker player.
Yeah.
And which is actually funny because there was two Eldritch players, and I believe there was 2 Striker players originally, but one of them changed last minute to go to Eldritch, so then that dropped us down to only 1 Striker player.
Right.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I was really scared of that Infernoble player.
Yeah.
I was like, I hand rip. Just let me play my game, please.
Yeah. I was expecting maybe there'd be a little bit more Infernoble, but maybe who knows, in the next one you might see a bit of a bigger presence of that deck.
Yeah, given that you're playing the deck.
Yeah.
Nibs are interesting for this deck because you kind of want to main it,
Mm-hmm.
but restriction of the multi-faker is kind of hard sometimes. Like you have to choose between Faker and Nibiru, and if you choose Nibiru, that just cuts off your Altergeist engine, and sometimes you don't have a play for next turn. So it's like it's a
Pick your
hard choice.
poison.
Yeah, exactly. I just think Faker is better in the long run because against Eldritch, like you can Nibiru them, and then what do they lose? They just lose out on 2 negates, but they still have their whole Eldritch engine. So I'm kind of like whatever about that, and then that Emancipator can make negates easy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like it's a strong card, and sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't. It's a kind of interesting in Altergeist, but in every other deck you would pretty much main it.
Yeah, it makes
least.
sense.
And then Pinkertops is just kind of one I just threw in there. I wasn't really sure, but it's always kind of nice when you draw it. Just it's a big body, quick effect, destruction,
Oh yeah.
easy.
Now I want to ask you one thing. Were you worried about playing any other, per se, like the mirror or any other control decks going into this, or were you just mainly worried about just combo?
Combo, I'm pretty confident against control. Um, except Eldritch. Eldritch is I'm kind of like unsure about. I had to practice that a lot
Yep.
because it's like a mixed combo control. But if there was Salamangreat, I used to main that deck, so like I know that deck pretty much in and out. Like you compulse or bounce the wolf, and like you can just win sometimes.
Yeah.
So a striker, I'm kind of like on edge about too. I haven't had too much practice about that,
Mm-hmm.
or with that. I was a little worried about that because you just have to stop the ray, or they just continue.
Yeah.
So that would have been another instance when Crow would have been nice in a
Yeah.
side, which would have taken the place of Pinkertops and I don't know something else, maybe evenly, but I'm not too sure. But definitely combo was the biggest thing.
Okay. Okay. And then into the extra deck, I see the Celine and triple access code talker. Did that? How much did that come up?
The access code. The way I play the deck is sometimes I forget about the utility that you have in the extra deck besides Hextia and your main deck monsters.
Yep.
So I didn't go into it as much as I should have, but when it did come up against who was it? I think it was the round 2 of the finals when the Eldritch Evil Eye player.
Mm-hmm.
It just won me the game. Like it's just kind of like a last minute thing. It's like, all right, well, I see the board is pretty clear. I can go into access code. I have stuff in my grave. I get free pops. Like
Yeah, card's pretty insane. 100%.
Yeah, and then just 5,300 to the face.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Exactly.
I realized in that turn, if I had done it differently, I could have gamed him in that one. Looking back, because there was just some interaction between Seek Search and the Marionetter, and then summon the Seek back with Celine, and then since it summons in defense, but I can link off the Celine and the token into access, so then I'll have the Seek, the Marionetter, and then the Karibo token or the Link Karibo in grave. So I could have swung for 53, swung for 16, and swung for the 300, and he was at 7,000.
Well, yeah, now you know for next time.
Exactly. And the Celine, it's kind of nice. You can chain block the Hextia. If you have ran through Altergeist monsters in the field, one of them like a multi-faker or secret Hextia, just link them off, search a Seek, get multi-faker in the grave, and just summon it back for free next turn. It's an extender, somewhat of a playmaker, and then if it lasts till the next turn, which it probably will, access code just,
basically
kill.
for free, yeah.
So
Now
That
the spell counter thing on Celine, did that ever come up with playing a super trap heavy deck, not having the counters immediately to get the free revive from grave, or was that really never
uh,
a concern?
it did well against the super trap heavy deck. I don't think so because the only like really trap heavy deck is Altergeist and Eldritch, but Eldritch has Black Awakening, White Destiny, and Cursed Eldland.
Yep.
As long as also the spells in my grave, so I don't think it came up too much, but it definitely did against the Cyber Dragon. What is that archetype called? Katakuri.
Karakuri, yeah.
I didn't even check the grave, and I summoned it. I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I watched over the stream, and you were just like, oh, he probably did that to link off Hextia. No, I
Yeah.
just the spells.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, but we were laughing about it, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's a. I like it in Altergeist.
Good. Good. So I guess the one of the last questions I'll ask, I guess, is I know you talked about Crow, obviously, but going forward, what are some things that you'd possibly change to this deck list?
Um, hmm. I was thinking about potentially playing a one more Compulse, but I'm not sure really what I would take out for that.
Mm.
Um, it's somewhat of a flex spot, but I think 2 is okay. 3, you just kind of draw too
Yeah.
much of what you want. I never really went into Phoenix in the extract because I have access code. So I think kind of maintaining our resources is a lot, and the discard is a little bit much for Altergeist unless you like have Manifestation or Marionetter on the field to, if you discard an Altergeist monster, you can just get it back.
Mm.
But I think I might cut the Phoenix for maybe another Celine or another Cross just because I run Extravagance.
Yep.
Um,
Makes sense.
right. Evenlies are kind of I'm on the edge about. Like they're good, but I feel like it makes you do different plays than you normally would. Like you either have to use cards in your hand to bait out stuff, or and then you use it, or you use it to bait out something and then you use the cards in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure how I feel about it. I know some people aren't citing it, but I'm not sure what I would put in place of it. Probably the Crows.
Yeah, Crows seem like they could possibly be pretty good addition to the list.
Right.
All right. Well, anything else you wanna add before we wrap this up?
Yeah, just one more. The anima. I think sometimes that comes up in very clutch situations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I remember I was playing online once with a striker player, and he, access code broke my board, and then I used access code's link pointer to steal it.
Oh, nice.
And
Very
then,
nice.
yeah, I went with my own access code. That was an interesting game. So,
Very nice.
but it's good in the extra deck.
Absolutely, yeah. And we saw it used against you there in the finals there,
I know.
which is kind of funny.
I
But,
was like, yeah, that was. I was like kicking myself. I'm like, I play this card. I should play around it.
yeah, exactly. All right. Well, again, congratulations for getting first place.
Thank you.
A valiant run through the entire tournament.
Yeah,
I
I was
believe.
pretty nervous in the beginning.
Yeah, 7-1, I believe, was the record.
Mm-hmm.
Through the thing you played. I think you only lost was to the Eldritch Evil Eye, which you ended up beating
Right.
in the second time you faced it in top 4. So
Mm-hmm.
great
Yep.
run. Congratulations.
Thanks.
We'll get that playmat sent out to you. This will be, of course, uploaded to YouTube, so you can flex on all your other Altergeist friends if you'd like. But yeah, thank you for, of course, participating in the tournament. We couldn't have done it without you guys, so appreciate that. Hopefully we see you in future tournaments. You'll be awarded 6 towards the Invitational. And yeah, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Yep, I appreciate it. Thank you for hosting this.
No problem. It was my pleasure.
It's nice to have a free tournament.
Absolutely.